All right, let's fucking. All
The
right,
claw is the law.
claw is law, brother. All right, so JJ, now that we're up and running, how you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing good, Nolan. How are you?
Good, good. Thanks for being on the podcast, man. So, anyways, you are the keyboardist for the progressive metal band Artificial Language.
Yeah.
You also you also have your solo project Illustrated by, where you recently did music for a film called Auditorium 13, right?
Yeah.
What was that like?
That was actually a really cool experience. I had met the producers of the film from a set I did at Art Hop,
Oh, sick.
and they had approached me from there, saying that they wanted to work on a type of score for a film, and I had not known this prior, but I guess the score for the Joker was written with just the script, and he didn't have any of the visuals,
Holy
and so they
shit.
kind of wanted to do a similar thing there. So they
Okay.
gave me kind of the basis for the film and the synopsis and the script, and then I kind of wrote a set of songs, and then they sent the film to me later, and I wrote a couple of songs there, and they kind of mixed and matched, and all that ended up on the film.
That's tight. Is the film out yet?
Yeah. It's on
Oh.
YouTube. It's
Okay,
getting
sick.
getting a lot of views. Yeah, if you just search Auditorium 13, it'll pop up.
Is it like a horror film? Like the poster made it look like it was like an old like 80s kind of like slasher look, sort of.
Yeah. That's kind of the vibe they were going for. They shot at the Maya, and
Okay,
so it's kind
wow.
of like a haunted movie theater.
Oh, cool. Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
this is like a Fresno-based film then.
yeah. It's a Fresno-based production company, but their camera quality and like the shots and everything are really just like top. It was super impressive, and I'm actually going to be directing a movie with them.
What? Wait a minute. Hold
Yeah,
on. Hold on. Hold on. You're directing a movie now?
yeah,
Okay. What's the
which
movie
is
gonna be?
pretty cool.
What? What?
So I've been obsessed with this idea. I think I saw Art Robertson post about it,
Okay.
but he was talking about how there's not enough black occult. Like there's all these occult movies, and like Midsommar was just all these blonde-haired people doing their
Yeah.
thing, which loved Midsommar, had no problem with it. Love Ari Aster,
Right.
love the score of that as well. And so I kind of wanted to dip my hand in that a little bit, and so I pitched a script to them. They liked the script, and so we're just kind of doing edits to that script right now. But I'm on tap to direct when it goes through.
That's so fucking dope.
I'm pretty excited. It's been a really cool thing, and I get to do the score as well. So I'm like writing the score right now, as illustrated by, and then just kind of feeling everything out and getting everything all set up.
Okay. That's tight. Is this your first? Is that the first time you've written a script?
Um, Seriously, yeah, I did like film for high school, but all that was like silly videos, and then for like riffs and chips. There's not really a script. There's like a basic synopsis, and then we kind of just like play off each other a little bit.
Right.
So this was my first time writing a full-on script that we were going to put into a movie.
That's so awesome, dude. Congrats. I had no
Oh,
idea this
thank
was a
you.
thing. This was like not in my questions at all. Like that's dope.
Yeah, I've just been like keeping it to myself because I don't want to like. It's still all in the works right now, so I don't want to speak too soon about it. But everything seems to be going forward, so it's like it's a really exciting thing. I'm pretty stoked on it.
That's awesome, man. Congrats. Um, so how would you describe your solo project illustrated by?
Um, it's uh, like ambient movements, and then it's kind of bled into soundscapes a little bit,
Okay.
which I do like a lot. Just kind of building textures and layers and the kind of depths and stuff. And it's always had, uh, I feel like some cinematic qualities, which is why I'm really excited to be finally working on films so I can use Illustrated by to score them. That's like kind of my own little
That would be awesome.
little thing there. But yeah, it's just getting these synths together and creating sounds that we don't normally hear, creating just different environments, different vibes. I'm really stoked on being able to do all that stuff.
That's awesome, man. For artificial language, your guys' last record was back in 2019, called "Now We Sleep."
Yeah.
When can we expect new music from you guys?
We are working on new music right now. Pew, 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 pew,
Yes,
pew.
yes.
We have some small demos done. If
Okay.
you go to Charlie's page, you can hear some of that stuff. And then we're all just kind of putting in our input right now and just writing the songs. And it's been a really exciting process. All the stuff is sounding a lot different than from what we normally do, but still like with that artificial language vibe. But we're really kind of taking some swings.
Okay, that's tight. What like do you think it's a like a natural progression from your last record? Like, are you guys trying anything different? Like, what is it gonna sound like? Can you give me any kind of a hint?
Yeah, our big ethos right now is like riffs,
Hmm.
riffs and like just bigger, badder. And
Okay.
we're trying to add more prog elements. Where Now We Sleep, we still feel as a prog record. It didn't have a lot of the hallmarks like the odd time signatures, the more funky key changes and stuff. So we're trying to bring a lot of that into this new record, while keeping the workflows that we found work well, like how Shay writes his melodies, how Charlie and Victor mesh, and how I've been kind of integrating my keys. So we're just trying to like extrapolate on that idea and create something wholly new.
Okay. I remember like this was like a couple of years ago, but like you were saying how you guys were having difficulty being able to practice, being able to get everybody into the same room. Like, how are you guys able to do that now? Like, how does that work?
So like technology has kind of filled that gap basically, and like the neural DSP plugins are so good that like all our guitar guys can just like from their home computers be able to track and get good sounds and get good tones. And we have the X32. We're trying to figure out how to set it up. It's a mixer interface that should
Okay.
let us do everything through our in-ear monitors,
Oh
and
wow.
then that'll help practicing and then setting up some live sessions as well. So it's really just figuring out the technological gap that we were missing, especially during this environment where we just can't be in a group together.
Right.
So, but that's also kind of helps because we're all always home, so it
Gotcha.
makes it a lot easier.
Nice. uh, so, in addition to Illustrated by and Artificial Language, you've also been the vocalist for some seriously heavy bands. Um, the Sound of Insects and Eludria. Um, what is the writing process for like Artificial Language compared to your writing process for bands like Eludria and Sound of Insects?
uh, Aludria was really like just everything was off the wall. Like we really just kind of showed up with ideas and we were like, "Hey, let's do this." And we're like, "Yeah, let's do that." We were just like running with it, just figuring everything out. And the Lang compared to that is definitely a more polished, refined. We try to have like a democratic process. Just because we wrote a riff doesn't mean we use the riff. We have to make sure that like uh, it's something that brings everything that we want to bring as a band and represent everything. So we try to be a little bit more methodical with artificial language for sure.
Yeah.
And then with Charlie's Staccato and then Illustrated by, we have these other avenues to be creative and as wild as we want. And we kind of bring the elements that we like that mesh from there, and we put it into the artificial language. And Alludio was just this amalgamation of everyone kind of finding their sound and what they wanted to sound like, what we all wanted to sound like. And so
Awesome.
it was a cool mesh of what we were growing to be.
Nice. Norton saying in the comments, bring back the Sound of Insects, you coward.
I would if I could. Oh my goodness.
Fuck.
Yeah, I'm working on a couple ideas for another heavy project, but
Oh, really?
nothing set in stone right now. Just in talks with the guitarist, just trying to figure something out. I miss vocals, so I'll probably be doing some of that. And Gangastron is back, so that's like even more inspiring.
Oh, dude, yeah, as soon as I saw that, like, I instantly thought of you. I was like, I bet that bro is off the fucking wall. Like, he's so excited now.
Dude,
Gangastron
it's
is
just
back.
nonstop. Every time they release a song, I'm just yelling at my drummer because he's my roommate now, and I'm just yelling. It's like new song, new song. Ah!
He just leaves. He's like, Jaren's like, I just can't fucking deal with this show
Yeah,
now.
it's just too much. It's too much.
Nice.
But I'm so excited. I'm excited to finally get merch from them. I never had the chance to get a shirt,
Yeah.
so I'm really excited to gonna buy everything.
Nice. Yeah, I'm
Get it
really
on
excited for
vinyl.
that too. Are you in Mathcore Index? Are you on that Facebook group? Do you
Oh
know?
no, that's I keep forgetting I want to join that one.
Dude, it's nothing but like as soon as like something like Gangastron is like really as soon as somebody like Gangastron releases new music, it's just like 2 weeks of dudes jerking each other off, and it's just like it's the greatest fucking thing ever.
I love it, dude. I love that stuff. I love that they're appreciated now. It made me so sad that they were on the Underworld soundtrack, but then they were still playing like empty concerts every now and again. It's like you don't understand. This band is great. They're
Wait a
so
minute,
before their time.
they were on the Underworld soundtrack?
I think if I mean, I could be talking out of, well, yeah, they were. Board Up the
Okay,
House is on the Underworld soundtrack. But
okay.
I believe that was one of the reasons why they felt they could retire for a while, is they got a bunch of money from that.
What the fuck? It's not
Yeah,
fair.
because like, yeah, I would assume like you get a bunch of money for being on the soundtrack. Because I remember reading something where like because the singer that didn't come back is like a doctor now or something like that.
Okay.
So I think they just used it to pay for school.
Okay. What is one soundtrack that you could be on that you could retire afterwards? Like what's a movie that you could do the soundtrack for, and after that you'd be like, all right, I don't need to do shit for a while.
Oh, Ari Aster's next movie, not this next one. His rejected, canceled one, his 4-hour nightmare movie. I do that, I'd retire. I'd be done.
4 hour nightmare movie?
Yeah, he had pitched the script. I think the script actually leaked, which is why he switched to something else.
Okay.
But yeah, he was working on like a 4-hour like nightmare epic.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I'm good.
The people that score his movies are so fantastic. Like the Hereditary score is phenomenal. That ending song, that cacophony of sound is so wild. And then on Midsommar, just that flute part is haunting, even though it's like super simple.
Yeah.
And then there's all these little extra accents on top of it that add eeriness, even though it still feels like it should be a major key, something happy.
Interesting. All right, so I'll note that. So hopefully you can get that, and that'll be the greatest day ever, and you'll buy everybody Gangastron merch. So,
Oh
anyways,
my gosh, yeah.
what do you think you have the most fun playing live? Performing heavy music as a vocalist, or performing as like a solo keyboardist?
Um, Nothing beats vocals, man. Nothing beats being sweaty and then just seeing a crowd of people and just like a heavy riff starts playing, man, like that. The adrenaline for that is pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Piano is fun. It's like solving a puzzle or a complex riddle in front of everyone. It's
Okay.
like walking a tightrope. It's this weird, intricate affair. But vocals has always been this like this cool, energy filled thing, and it's hard to describe or replicate.
Nice. For what would you say is your most influential record as a musician?
That I listen to.
Yeah. Sorry, I should have said that.
Oh no, it's okay. Probably Board Up the House.
What? Oh, okay. From Genghis
Probably
Khan.
Board or Watershed.
Okay.
Opeth.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, I haven't listened to that record in a long time.
Oh, it is so good. I think Victor just listened to it, so like we were all jamming it again. It's such a good record.
Nice.
It's so good.
What have you been listening to lately?
A lot of Bandcamp jazz.
Bandcamp Jazz. Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't even know jazz was
I,
on Bandcamp.
Yeah, they have a whole jazz setting, which I didn't know. Recently, I just started going back on Bandcamp, and I found this band, Godtet, that's really sick. There's this other group, the Aurelius Brothers. There's so much great jazz fusion, and of people that are just trying to come up, and they're monsters. It's so amazing. So I've been really just kind of obsessing about and listening to a lot of the stuff that I didn't even know existed because I wouldn't have found it through some algorithm. It's just, well, I mean, it's still Bandcamp's algorithm, but
Right.
the main algorithms.
What was that first band you mentioned?
Godtet.
Godted?
Godtet. Godtet.
Okay.
They're
nice.
like a hip hop fusion band.
Okay. Sick.
Yeah. But yeah, it sounds really sick. It kind of blows my mind. I love those. Like, it's got like Afro-Cuban vibes a little bit.
Okay.
I really like that stuff.
Nice. So I've always felt that you're like a natural like comedian, and a lot of the things that I've seen you like post before, I feel like you have like you've tapped into a realm of conspiracy theories that like nobody else seems to know about. What is the weirdest conspiracy theory you've ever heard?
Oh man, so uh, there was one I was ashamed to have known, and then
Okay.
my mom brought it up to me, and then I was like, "Oh, you heard that?" So I felt a little bit better, right? Because some people conflate knowing about a conspiracy theory with believing it, and it's
Okay.
like I could be aware that it exists and not agree with its sentiments or believe that it's real, right?
Gotcha.
It's just information that I've acquired,
Right.
unfortunately. The craziest one by far is probably the like they sacrifice babies at Disney World in
At
Florida.
Disney World.
Yeah, yeah, like it's the biggest place where like all the ritual offerings it goes through Disney World.
Wait, is this like a QAnon conspiracy or
Yeah,
like
no, it was before QAnon. It's what QAnon jumped on top of. So like
okay.
this Epstein stuff connected to like he was the guy that sold the kids, and then like the rich people would sacrifice them at Disney.
Why Disney World?
I uh, I think there's like some real probably I don't know. Like my guess is Florida specifically is the pedophile capital of the world
I mean,
or the United States because everyone just goes there, and it's where Disney World is. So you'd assume it would happen a lot.
okay.
When I was driving through Oregon at one of the truck stops, it had a sign that said, "If you see these kids at these truck stops, call the police." And it was just because that's where they swap off these missing kids, and they're like, it doesn't matter what adult they're with, call the police if you see the kid.
Okay.
And I believe I read somewhere that happens at Disney World a lot too, because you
Oh
just see
shit.
kids crying and no one has a question. So I think it's like people creating their own theories about something that has a stench of truth.
Uh-huh.
But I don't think Disneyland sacrifices kids.
No.
Just to go on the record, I do not think that is real.
Yeah, they take shit that's like, like this much of truth, and then they build it into like this fucking huge thing, and it's like it's a
Yeah,
massive conspiracy. Like, yeah, it's fucking no.
yeah. Lizard people is sick too, though. I like that one.
That's also a very interesting one. My dad recently ran into a QAnon person at Costco. Like my dad's just shopping, and he's just shopping, and then this guy just walks up to him and just starts spouting off all of the typical QAnon stuff about like blood sacrifices, like the blood of the children, how there was gonna be like a mask switch at Biden's inauguration, just shit like that. And my dad was like telling me, he's like, I've never met such a crazy person before. And then I was like, yeah, you met a QAnon person. And he was like, a what? And then I was like, it's very interesting that you met a QAnon person like this late in the game. But it was funny. My dad got out of it by like he just started like he was just moseying towards the door at Costco, and he just leaves his cart full of items and just walks out.
Dude, the craziest thing about this whole past year and a half, right? The QAnon and even the overarching pandemic
Mhm.
is I started reading Stephen King books right when this whole thing started happening.
Okay.
The first book I read was The Stand, which is about the government accidentally leaking a virus, and then it wipes out all but 99% of the population. I was like, oh, I need to stop reading Stephen King. So I took a break from The Stand, and I picked up a different book. It's called Insomnia, and it's
Okay.
literally QAnon people.
Oh,
It's all these
fuck.
old 80-year-olds that can't sleep, and they start fantasizing that people are like killing babies, and like we need to save the babies. Like it's literally QAnon, and it's like he wrote this in '95. Like, I'm like, what's going on?
Oh my god. Norton said in the comments, "Hollow Earth banks as a conspiracy theory," and I do agree.
Yeah.
That's a very interesting conspiracy theory, and it's
Well, and it gets better. Vice just reported that there's a ocean underneath our ocean that they found that like that's where the water refills from, and they said it's twice as large as ours, and they're gonna like go in there in the next year or so.
what the fuck?
Yeah, the Earth is like kind of hollow. So like that's the most like it's like do elves exist? Probably not. But like the Earth, the Earth is pretty hollow.
I haven't seen that. I'm gonna look at that after the after this.
Yeah, I've been like waiting for updates, and there's like more people saying that octopuses are weird, and I'm like I'm there for it.
Well, yeah, I mean, octopi are pretty fucking weird. I mean, they're
Yeah,
super intelligent. They can fit into, if their beak is this big, they can fit through a hole that's that big. And I'll never forget. Like, there was a story about like the Monterey Bay Aquarium. So like how they have like the touch pools or whatever. Like you stick your hands in, you can like touch like coral and like other like little sea items. So all of that stuff is from like the bay right outside the door, and they somehow when they collected some of this stuff, they accidentally collected an octopus, and they didn't know about this until one night after they're closed. A janitor's cleaning up, and he sees this trail of water coming from the tide pool, and at the end of it is an octopus trying to walk out of the aquarium. Like,
they're great.
I just like how the fuck, like, what? That's that's not okay.
Yeah, they're like hyper intelligent. There's this another report about them in aquariums where you have to they had to lock the cage shut because it would creep out of its cage and eat other fish and then crawl back in. And it would just time when the security guard would walk by and just like crawl out, eat some fish, crawl back in. So they had to lock the tank.
What the fuck?
They're smart.
Yeah.
And they recently there was a thing that said dolphins hide their intelligence from us.
Really?
Like they hide what they know. Like they observed that it appears they have names for each other, but they don't use them whenever they're around us.
Huh. I know ravens are also incredible. Like ravens and crows are also incredibly intelligent. They're able to like pick locks and like because like I mean there's like plenty of stories of people where like if you like feed the crows or the ravens or something like that, they'll start bringing you like shiny objects and stuff. It's like currency to them.
That's pretty awesome.
The animal kingdom is a fascinating world. What the fuck was I talking about? Okay, anyways, so when can we expect the next episode of Riffs and Chips?
Oh, that is also in the works. We're like coming up with the synopsis for the whole overarching thing, and then we're changing up the formula. It's going to be a little bit different this time, a little bit different, but it's going to be a lot of fun when we start getting everything together. It's coming. Be informed.
For those for those who have not seen Riffs and Chips, how would you describe it to somebody?
It's like a music show that doesn't help you. Which was like kind of the basis. Like everyone on YouTube's trying to make these music shows and like teach people stuff. And like I'm just trying to waste your time.
I feel that.
Yeah.
What is the worst chip that you've ever featured on Riffs and Chips?
Oh man, the pickle chip is gross.
Oh,
it's real gross.
No.
Yeah, they're real gross. No. Oh, and the Fritos. The Fritos are terrible. It's a bad chip. I was genuinely upset because I told Jaren to get chips, and we do Lay's. We do Lay's because I want a Frito-Lay endorsement.
Right.
He gets Fritos. Fritos are disgusting.
And you just cuss him out like in the thing, and you're like, no, it's fucking dumb, and it's not a real chip.
No, I was real mad. It was stupid. I was like, I'm gonna have to eat these, and like I haven't eaten a Frito since I was 9. I'm like, that's on purpose. Like I've avoided. Everyone's like, you want a Frito boat? It's like you don't pay for Fritos. They're a bad chip.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I've had Fritos. If I did, it was like given to me for free, and it was like the last thing there or something, you know?
Yeah, it's like if you're starving, okay, cool, I'm not gonna die, but yeah. Fritos, no.
Anyways, have you picked up any new hobbies or skills during quarantine?
Not really. Um, I, I play a lot of if I'm just like hanging out trying to chill, I'll play a lot of UFC 3
Okay.
on the PS4. And at the start of quarantine, I was gonna get a new PS4. My current PlayStation only plays UFC 3. It won't play any other game. And so I was like, oh
What the
cool, like
fuck?
yeah, dude. So at the time I was like, oh cool, I'll play Grand Theft Auto, I'll be able to beat these games during this lockdown. And it's like it only plays one game. So I got a new I got a new PS4, brought it home, and then by the second day it only played UFC 3. The disk drive stopped working. And I bought it brand new, so I returned it. And GameStop's like, well, I had the warranty, and they're like, well, we can give you another PS4. So they gave me one more PS4, and then 3 days later, it stopped playing everything else and only played UFC 3, which
What the
is
fuck?
super weird. I know, like, it's like the problem that I was okay with having because I'm like, I love this game, but man, if I had wanted to play something else, this is fucked. But then after that third time, I was just like, okay, and I traded in for a Switch,
Okay. Okay.
which yeah, has also been just a pit of time where I haven't gotten a new skill. I've just been playing Skyrim.
Yo, Skyrim still slaps though. I used to go to like my friend's house just to
No, I
watch
know,
him
yeah.
play. Like that was fun.
Yeah, it's a fantastic game, and having it portable is just messed up.
What's
It's
a
so much
game?
easier.
What's up?
Oh, it's just so much easier to play
Oh
because
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like portable. Yeah.
What is one game that you could seriously play every single day other than UFC? Like what's a game?
Uh, Fallout 3.
Fallout 3. Okay.
Yeah, that game is amazing because you can be as weird as you want. It's like open world. You can people blow up, which is always wild. Even when I was younger, I thought like, "Wow, this is the most violent thing I've ever seen." And then now that I'm older, I'm like, "Whoa, this is the most violent thing I've ever seen." It's just the greatest game. And Liam Neeson's in it. He's only in it for like 5 minutes, but Liam Neeson's in it, so it's great.
Damn, I didn't even know that. Jeez. But I'm also
Yeah,
a
he's like,
complete noob, so
oh, I would assume you would know about Fallout 3.
sorry.
Andrew and Trevor, we all know. Andrew
Trevor, yeah.
knows Fallout 3 Rise Up. What is your favorite game? What are you playing right now?
I'm like a real dork. So the last game that I played, I downloaded a bunch of like old strategy games. Like during quarantine, I downloaded a bunch of old strategy games from when I was like in high school. So I downloaded Rise of Nations.
Ooh, heck yeah.
Yeah. StarCraft 2.
The RTS, right?
Yeah.
Ooh.
StarCraft 2. Star Wars Empire at War.
Oh.
And then recently my friends will play Diablo 2 every week. So
Oh, heck yeah.
yeah. So I'm like extra nerdy. Like people will be talking to me about games and I'm like, was it released in the last 20 years? And they'll be like, no. I'm like, well, I don't fucking know what it is then.
Well, that's the best part. It's like you were naming the Steam special, dude. Like all the
Yeah.
old games we used to play when we were a kid, they're like $4 now, and you're like,
Yeah.
heck yeah, I can just sink a bunch of time into this.
Exactly.
It's be
Yeah.
gone.
They fucking, oh my god, they were putting on like they had so many games that like I forgot about, and then like I would see like the title of it with like the poster, and all of a sudden I'm like, fuck, I remember this. There was one Lord of the Rings. It was Battle for Middle Earth, and I haven't even thought of that in like 15 years. And then as soon as I saw that on Steam, I was like, "Fuck!" And I'm like, "No! I'm just gonna log out. I'm gonna take a walk outside. Like I will go down a dark rabbit hole if I download that." Fuck. Anyways.
Yeah.
All right. So
That's how I recently.
you cut out. What?
Oh, I recently re-downloaded Knights of the Old Republic 2 on my
Oh,
laptop.
Nice.
Just time sinking, dude. Just time sinking.
Nice. This
But
sort
it's
of-
also hard. That suck.
I haven't played any of those games. I've recently become like a gigantic Star Wars nerd, which sort of ties into my last question here for you. So sort of. What would you say is a better franchise, Marvel or Star Wars? Like the Marvel universe or Star Wars?
Man, this would be a much different question or answer before The Last Jedi.
Fair. That's
Much
very
different
fair.
answer.
Yeah.
Uh, and I feel like uh, for both franchises, if we stop for Star Wars, if we stop at before The Last Jedi, and then for Marvel, if we stop at Infinity War,
Okay.
you have two top tier franchises that could go anywhere and are neck and neck. I would argue Star Wars personally is my favorite just because I think there's less fumbles, right? Like the first Thor sucked.
Yeah.
Thor 2 was kind of whatever. Thor 3 was dope. Ragnarok was dope.
Yes.
But it took them a while to get there.
Yeah.
Iron Man 3 was kind of whatever. And that's because the Mandarin, the twist that they had to do was kind of weird.
Yeah.
And Episode 1 for Star Wars is a great movie. Yeah. It holds up. Double-sided lightsaber is still the coolest lightsaber.
Yes.
They really never beat that.
Nope.
Liam Neeson holds up. When does he not hold up? The older you get, the more great it is to see Liam Neeson with a ponytail. Yep. Like so,
yep.
Yeah. So Jar Jar Binks isn't that annoying. He's really not, and he's not even. Yeah. He's not in the other two, so.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like I recently rewatched those early ones. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, go.
I recently rewatched episodes 1 and 2, and I remember Jar Jar Binks being I remember it being just like something that was like stabbing me in the eyes like for the entire movie. And then I watched it and I was like, all right, he's annoying in 1, and then he's not really in 2, and then he's not in 3. He is in a frame of 3. And yeah. But sorry, go ahead.
Oh no. To play on that, I'm very upset that the Darth Jar Jar thing did not go through because it feels very obvious after the fact that it was supposed to be Darth Jar Jar, and just because in like the love they put into his character, because like his goofy style of like moving, looking clumsy, and then overthrowing the enemy is like drunken kickboxing.
Yeah,
and he has a lot of those like flails and stuff.
Yeah,
and like the Emperor Palpatine's from Naboo. You know what I mean? Sith always come in twos. So it's like, who would teach him that? Everyone else was peaceful up top. And the Naboo or the Gungan people were in the dark depths where like that's darkness. That's like the depths where like the Sith could be. So I felt like they were leading up towards like a monster v monster fight where it's like Jar Jar versus Yoda. And then because Count Dooku comes out of nowhere. It's just like, here's this dude.
Yeah.
And then he's dead. Like this. So it's like, okay. Like, okay, at least we saw Darth Maul in the beginning. Come on now. Like,
Norton said he leads the huge battle at the end of 2. You're crazy. Actually, it's the end of episode 1, not 2, right?
Jar Jar. End of episode 1, he leads that giant battle. Yeah.
I mean, he does well in that fight. I mean,
and there's like force things that he uses. Like in 2, he knows who's coming up the elevator before they show up. Because he runs towards the elevator, he knows it's coming.
Really?
And then he's like, "Oh, it's my friend." Like, yeah. There's like little because he's always next to Palpatine, and like he's always like jumping the gun on who.
Oh, jumping on the gun on what?
Oh, on like who's coming because he's like already aware. Like if you see his like character, even in small frames, it looks like he notices someone's coming before everybody else.
Interesting. Okay. I never noticed that. Like, I remember you posting about like Darth Jar Jar constantly, and I thought it was like the biggest troll. I thought you had like crafted like a script for it and everything, but no, you have done your research, and this is all completely valid points.
Yeah. No, it's a valid theory, and like George Lucas said that Darth or Jar Jar was supposed to be more important in the Star Wars saga than he ended up being. Because it was Andy Serkis, and Andy Serkis is like big bucks. You don't like use him just for a little bit. In The Hobbit, he was all up in that.
Huh. Interesting. Did you watch like the Clone Wars series or Rebels?
I want to now that I know about the Darth Maul coming back and stuff, because he's like clearly my favorite outside of General Grievous. It
Right.
was just like a giant robot with a bunch of lightsabers who does not like that.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited to get back into it. I've been trying to finish all the Gundam on Hulu before I pick up another show.
Gotcha. Yeah, Clone Wars is like, it's like there's so many fucking episodes, because like it's back when, first of all, I mean, it's a cartoon, so they have more episodes in a season, but also like it's back when TV shows used to have like 25, 30 episodes in a season, and so the first few seasons of Clone Wars is a little rough to get through because there's not much progress. They're not really forwarding the story at all.
Mm.
But dude, the return of Darth Maul is the sickest fucking thing ever. That man, like, okay, this is the only spoiler I will give you. He so he does not care about fucking anything happening in the galaxy. His entire purpose, his whole reason of being, is to kill Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's all he fucking cares about. And it's the sickest thing. He does the most dramatic, craziest shit that, like, kills tons of people, and he doesn't care because the entire objective is to kill Obi-Wan. And it's so sick. He's the greatest villain of all time.
Ah, that makes me so happy. It makes me want to see it, and it still makes me very mad that the last two Star Wars were so bad.
Dude,
Like you could have done cooler stuff.
I honestly, like, I didn't like the last like three movies because like episodes like 7 through 9, like it just felt like they were recycling everything, and
Yeah.
like the more I watched like Clone, because I finished Clone Wars during during quarantine, and I've started Rebels now. Um, the animation for Rebels is worse than Clone Wars, but the story's still cool. So I'm just like, all right, I'm here. It's so bad, but like it makes me appreciate movies like Rogue One and then like Mandalorian, because like they tie so much stuff in from Clone Wars and from Rebels, and like episodes 7 through 9, like they just fucking like it. They're like, I've seen the Star Wars one time. Let's just remake it. Yeah, and it's just like, fuck, dude. Like, no, there's this whole
Dude,
this insane world that has been created, and Mandalorian continues that insane world that they have, and Rogue One even it continues it, even though it's such a small like time span, but it's sick. You should watch, and that is my TED talk.
okay, I appreciate that. I would like to do my nitpicks of episode 7
Do it.
because it sucks. There's so many drops in that movie that there shouldn't be. In the beginning, Finn gets blood rubbed on him, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is the only instance of blood in all of Star Wars.
In all of Star Wars.
Where did it come from? Where did it come from? Why have we not seen more blood? Like, where was that blood?
And also, don't like laser blast like cauterize the wound. Like, there's not gonna be any blood.
There's just no, like, that's the worst drop because it's like that makes no sense. And The Last Jedi, the bombs dropping, that one's bad because it's like it's space.
What
it's
the fuck
space.
is that?
Yeah.
Continue.
The ship's like sinking when they get in space. They just
like,
float away.
Fuck?
Get the fuck out of here. Like it's so much like it's one thing to like bypass all the canon, right? But it's another thing to just make up new mechanics whenever you want. Like, which is essentially what they did for 7, 8, 9. They're like, oh, we know these characters, but what if they did this?
Yeah, exactly. It's just fucking.
Yeah. Like they don't understand how OP flying is. Like, you understand? Like, if anyone could fly, if Jedi's could fly, right? Mace Windu's not dead. He's just like, oh, let me get back in, right? And then like same thing with the Emperor. Like when Darth Vader throws him down the shaft, he's just like, oh, I'm just gonna float here until they leave.
Yeah.
Like, right? Like, what am I gonna? Yeah, it's just like it just doesn't make sense. It's like it felt like they were trying to add other anime tropes into Star Wars instead of letting the universe be its own universe.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it, because it just they didn't they didn't continue anything from Star Wars. They just recycled and then took things from other odd places, and it was just like, no, it just doesn't work.
Wasn't necessary. The
Yeah.
whole casino scene, Canto Bite, right?
Yeah.
And then like the worst line of dialogue in of the year is, "Did we make them hurt? Yeah, we made them hurt." Like,
I forgot about that.
dude, they're rich. You didn't make them anything.
Yeah.
Like, everybody got fired.
Yeah.
And the rich people were fine. Those kids were beat. Like, oh, we made them hurt. Yeah.
Whew, fuck. Yeah, no, there, oh my god, dude. And like, there was, I will give episode 8 one thing. I have always wanted to know what happens if like if you didn't like calculate the jump to light speed and you just went through something, and like that's what that one chick did when she goes like through that mega star destroyer. Like, where the fuck did that come from? But like, it was still cool
Like,
to
can
see that.
only
I was
go
like,
so
oh.
fast.
Yeah. Also, so like, does she die from that? Like, where did she die when it? I don't. Whatever. It's called Star Wars.
But and it's also like, they know by this point in time that Carrie Ann Moss is dead, right? And it's like, you really like brought this new chick in that you the whole movie is her dynamic with Poe, and then you're like, oh, now we're just ramming her to a ship, dude. Let's do it.
Yeah. Like, they were like, oh.
And then it's like,
go ahead.
oh no, go.
It was like, it was as if they, because I feel like there was like some sort of like riff after shows like Game of Thrones, because like people's favorite characters would get like murked and like just randomly in an episode. And so like, I feel like a lot of people tried to take that idea and put it into other things, and I feel like they tried to do that in that one particular Star Wars movie, but it was like, we don't care about her. Like, I just
Yeah,
there's no
so?
connection. No connection.
Dude, it would have been more impactful if it was that alien general that everyone likes.
Oh, wait, which one?
Because the one that killed off, like, everyone was mad because he just like gets killed off and it doesn't matter. Like the fish-eyed, I think it was the fishy dude.
Oh, you're talking about Akbar?
Yeah, Akbar.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because he dies in like. Oh wait, no, he did die in like the newer movies, right?
Yeah, he died. I think Kylo kills him at the beginning of The Last Jedi in that starfight thing.
Oh, that's right.
And it's just like, yeah.
God, fuck those movies.
That's what I'm saying, dude. They're bad. And like the one scene where I was like okay with all this terrible mess, right? Like, we'd seen the Carrie Ann Moss scene.
Right.
We'd seen this lady turbo speed herself into a star destroyer that she couldn't run away from, but apparently she could still do light speed. Could she just light speed it away? Couldn't that have worked? It obviously works. You could have just light speed it away.
Yep.
Is when Finn is running into that ship, right? He's on the ship and he's like, and like that was the one moment where I was like, okay, they're finally gonna do something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it was still pretty safe. Like, none of these characters have ever done anything. Like, it's the worst arc for Kylo because he literally does nothing, right?
Nothing.
Like, character evolution. He's just like, I'm wishy-washy. And the end of the movie is like, still wishy-washy.
Yep.
What's up? So it's like, I was ready for Finn to die, and then Rose saves him, and then kisses him, and then disappears the third movie. So, you know, everything matters in The Last Jedi. That's what I'm trying to say. Everything that happened matters.
Fuck those movies. I mean, look how red my face is from this. All right. Anyways.
Yeah.
All right. So, doesn't look like anybody's in the chat. So, all right, man. Well, I appreciate you doing this with me. It was great talking to you. Anything that you want to plug, comments on, anything like that?
New Lang is coming. New Illustrated by is coming. Working on a movie that's coming. And then support musicians, local music, Bandcamp, Tidal, any app you can. Everything helps.
Fuck yeah, dude. All right, man. It was
Heck
great
yeah.
talking to
Thank
you,
you for
dude.
having me. Great
Dude,
talking to you too,
definitely, man.
dude.
Take it easy.
You too.
Thank you for checking out the latest episode of RAD Chat featuring Jonathon of Artificial Language and Illustrated by. Make sure to check out all the links below for Artificial Language, Illustrated by, and RAD Music. We've got some new merch available at our store. And make sure to give us a like and subscribe.